Today we're going to learn one of the most important lessons in algebra. This will follow you all the way through the rest of your math classes, so please make sure you're paying attention. This is so important that we're going to spend 2 days learning it to make sure that y'all build confidence in it and understand it. It is really pretty easy, but it can get kind of confusing just until you get used to it. Make sense? All right, it's called distributive property. When I hear the word distributive, I think of distribute. I just distributed y'all's notes. What did I do? I gave them out. Everybody had to get one, right? Or I wouldn't have done my job. So that's what we're going to learn today, is how to use distributive property. Now, in 6th grade, you learned what was called PEMDAS, order of operations, yes? So I'm going to give y'all, and y'all don't have to write this down, I just want y'all to look. I'm going to give y'all an example of 6th grade, and y'all are going to tell me how you would solve this problem. 2 times 3 plus 2. Based off of what you learned in 6th grade, what would you do? Parentheses first. So you would do 3 plus 2, which is? And you would have 2 times 5, which is? Okay. This is not going to work in algebra. Who can tell me why? Because there's going to be variables. So I'm going to give you all an example of what you're going to see today. I didn't mean to put that in parentheses. Okay, 3 times 2x plus 4. Can you do the parentheses first? Why not? Because you don't know what x is. Now, if they said x is 3, then of course you could go do it, yes? So what I'm going to teach you today is how to deal with this using the distributive property. I'm going to go back to the 6th grade problem and rewrite it. 2 times 3 plus 2. And I'm going to teach you how to do this with distributive property, and we're going to get the same answer. Yes? What does this problem mean? It means everything in the parentheses is going to be multiplied by 2. So I'm going to distribute the 2 to the 3 and to the 2 by multiplication. What is 2 times 3? Keep the sign. What's 2 times 2? What's 6 plus 4? Did I get the same answer? They didn't teach you this in 6th grade because you didn't need to know it, because PEMDAS always worked. Yes? Okay, y'all don't have to write this down. I'm going to go show you all of this right now. But before we start, we're going to change things up. We're going to go to the 2nd page of your notes, the back page. We're going to learn some vocabulary words. This lesson is so important, so please tune in and make sure you're paying attention. You're going to hear me say these words all year long. Okay? Coefficient. A coefficient is the number in front of a. So, for example, 2x. What's the coefficient here? The 2. Now, if I ask you for it, you wouldn't say 2x. You would just say 2. A constant is a number by itself. So if I had 2x plus 3, what's the constant here? Positive 3. Terms. We talked about like terms, yes? So now we're going to talk about how do you even know what a term is. A term can be a single number or a group of numbers that are put together by multiplication or division. They are separated by addition and subtraction signs. That's the biggest part you need to know. Okay, so I'm going to write an expression, and we're going to talk about how many terms there are, and y'all write this with me. 2xy plus 3x minus 5. How many terms do you see based off of what this says? They are separated by addition and subtraction signs. So this is a term. What else? 3x is a term. What else? Is this a positive 5 or a negative 5? Okay, let me rephrase my question. What kind of value does that 5 have? if you were to change, what would this 5 be? It's a negative 5. Now, I wouldn't say it's a minus negative. I would say it's a negative 5. It has a negative value. Make sense? There are 3 terms in that problem. 2xy, positive 3x, and negative 5. If you're ever confused, change, and it'll tell you what it is. Make sense? All right, like terms are terms that have the same variables. Could I combine this term with this term? Why not? They both have x's. They don't both have xy's. So I could combine 2xy and 3xy. Those are like terms. I could combine 2x and 4x. I can combine 5 and 3. Those are all like terms. So let's go through our vocabulary again. A coefficient is the number in front of. A constant is the number by itself. Terms are numbers separated by adding and subtracting signs. They belong together if they're being stuck together by multiplication or division. And like terms are terms that have the same variables. Got it? So based off of that, we're going to do this problem right here. It says fill in the vocabulary using the following example, and you will be doing this on your assignment, so pay attention. Do you see any coefficients in this expression? What is a coefficient? A number attached to a? How many coefficients do you see? Would I write the variable with it? No. So my first coefficient is -1, and I'm just going to put a comma. What's my next coefficient? 2. Are there any more? No. Are there any constants, any numbers by themselves? What is it? Is that 8 a positive 8 or a negative 8? Positive 8. How many terms do you see? 3. So for terms, I would write -1x, comma, what was the next one? 2x, comma, and 8. Are there any like terms? Which terms are alike? -1x and 2x. Are anything else alike? All right, I want y'all to do this one on your own. Do you think doing change would possibly help you? I would recommend doing it. Anytime you see subtraction, do change. That way you know if it has a positive or negative value. Now, if you did what I recommended, you would have change. It's just going to help you know what has a negative value. How many coefficients do you see? The first one is +3. The second one is -6. How many constants do we see? The first one is -4. The second one is, notice that for coefficient, what did I not include in my answer? The variable. If you do, I'm going to have to count it wrong. So please make sure you're just writing the coefficient. All right, how many terms do we see? 1, 2, 3, 4. So you would write all the terms. 3x, comma, negative 4, comma, negative 6x, and 2. If you left the negatives off, would it be right? No. Last one, what are the alike terms? 3x and negative 6x, and then also negative 4 and 2. Are there any questions on the vocabulary? You're not going to hear this today only, and that's it. You're going to hear me say these words all year long. So make sure you know what they mean. Okay? All right, let's flip back to the front. Now we're going to go practice distributive property. Up at the top, we're going to write how it works algebraically, meaning we're not going to use numbers to show it. We're going to say A times B plus C. How would I distribute the A? I would multiply everything in the parentheses by A. So how would this be written? What is A times B? AB. Plus, what's A times C? AC. So this is the same thing as this. Make sense? All right, what if there's a subtraction sign in the parentheses, like A times B minus C? What do y'all think I'm going to tell y'all to do? Change. Now, once you become to where you're mastering this and it just becomes super easy to you, you might not want to change all the time. But I'm going to tell y'all today, when you're first learning this, everybody should be changing. Okay? It will keep you from making an error on difficult problems. So, but I'm going to show y'all without changing. A times B is AB. Keep the subtraction sign. A times C is. Okay, and you're like, well, Miss Castro, why would I change? That was easy. You're going to see when we do some examples why you need to do it. But what we're going to do is we're going to do A times B minus C. And we're going to change. Yes? And we're going to say, okay, this is A times B, which is AB, plus A times negative C. What's a positive times a negative? Negative AC. Is this answer the exact same thing as this answer? Yes. Okay? You're going to do it this way today because it's going to protect you from making mistakes. Got it? All right, let's look at the first example. Here we go. I am distributing the 4 to everything in parentheses. Now, I'm going to tell y'all where students mess up when they're first learning this. They do this. They say, oh, 4 times y is? For y, they say plus, and then they say 4 plus 3 is 7. Are we distributing the 4 by adding, or are we distributing the 4 by multiplication? Do you see why somebody in a hurry might accidentally do that? So take your time and remember you're distributing by multiplication. 4 times 3 is 12. Is there anything else I can do to this? Then guess what? You're done. That's it. There's no like terms, are there? All right, I want y'all to try this one on your own. And check your answer with mine. How did we do? It's not bad, right? That's how most of yours are going to look today. Okay? On our notes, we're going to do some really challenging ones so that when you get to those, you'll know how to do them. Okay. This one. What am I distributing? The negative sign. Okay? What am I teaching you to do before you distribute? Change. So I am going to distribute the negative to the x. So what's it going to become? Negative x. Plus, I am going to distribute the negative to the negative 4. So it becomes positive 4. It becomes the opposite of what it was. And I'm done. Now, have y'all ever heard of invisible math? Okay, and you've been doing invisible math your whole life. If you would direct your attention to my board, I have an invisible math poster. One of the most common invisible math that y'all do every day is you don't put the positive sign for a positive number. Is it there though? Yes. Now, for invisible math in this class, the biggest thing you need to know is that there is a coefficient in front of every single variable. What's a coefficient? A number in front of a variable. So, do you see how this variable doesn't have a number in front of it? It actually does. You just don't write it. What is it? 1. Every variable has a 1 in front of it if there's no number, if there's no coefficient. Now, it's not really a positive 1 in this one. It's a... So, I could have put negative 1x plus 4, and my answer is the exact same. I don't expect you to, but you might want to, and that's fine. Got it? Moving on. Now do you see why I'm going to make you change? That's not beautiful. That is crazy looking. So change. That is now negative being distributed to y plus 2. Negative being distributed to y is negative y plus negative being distributed to positive 2 is negative 2. What coefficient is in front of that y? Give me more. Negative 1. Very good. Now, this next one's tricky, and you will have 3 of these on your assignment, so please pay attention. I want to see if anybody can figure it out yet. We learned that when you add variables, like x plus x is 2x. But what about when we multiply them by each other? How would I multiply a variable by itself? Oh, 1n times 1n. 1 times 1 is 1, but what do I do with those n's? I wouldn't write nn, right? So I want y'all to think about it. If I have 5 times 5, what's the answer? How else could I write that? Yes, but not what I'm looking for. How else could I write this? I'll give y'all a hint. 5 squared. Yes or no? Is this the same thing as 5 squared? So how would I write n times n? N squared. Yes? How would I write n times n times n? N to the 3rd power. Yes? Okay, so let's go back to this problem. What's the first thing we're going to do before we do anything? Change. I now need to do n times n. Do y'all understand why it's not 2n? N plus n is what? 2n, because that's 1n plus 1n is 2n. It's n times n. N squared. Plus n times negative 9. What's a positive times a negative? Negative. And would I write n9 or 9n? 9n. The coefficient always goes in front of the variable. Are we okay? All right, what if it's written backwards? Does it matter? No. What am I distributing? I'm distributing the y. Y is going to be distributed to y and to 7. Well, we just learned, how would I write y times y? Y squared plus, what's y times 7? What if I had written this backwards and put 7y plus y squared? It's the same thing. That's what the commutative property says. All right. Do y'all want to try this one on your own? What is 2y times y? 2y squared. Plus, what is 2y times 3? 6y. Very good. All right, what do I need to do to this one? Change. Why is the negative 3y in parentheses? Because they wanted it to be. Does it need to be? No. I'm going to distribute the negative 3y to the 5 and the negative 3y to the negative y. Negative 3y times 5 is negative 15y plus negative 3y times negative y. Stop. What's a negative times a negative? So 3 times, what coefficient does this have? 1. What's 3 times 1? 3. And what's y times y? Y squared. Done. All right, let's look at the next one. Am I distributing the 2 or the 5? Good. The 5 is being added. You just deal with that later, right? But I'm going to multiply 2 times x plus 2 times 9. 2 times x is 2x plus 2 times 9 is? And then what do I do with the 5? Write it down. Am I done? I mean, technically it's correct, but is it simplified? Can I combine like terms? What terms are alike? So 2x plus and 18 plus 5 is 23. Okay, what do I need to do with the parentheses first? Change. Am I distributing the 2 or the a? So do I even look at this right now? No. What's 2 times 4a? 8a. What is 2 times negative 1? And then I'm going to add a. What coefficient is in front of that a, but we don't see it because of invisible math? Now can I combine like terms? What can I combine? What is 8a plus 1a? 9a. And what do I do with this plus negative 2? Just write it down. Plus negative 2. All right, y'all try this one on your own. Did everybody get 11x plus 19? Okay, when you distribute, you should have gotten 10x plus 15 and then written plus 4 plus, and what coefficient does that x have? A 1. Then you go combine like terms. Yes? Flip to the very last page. We're only going to do the first word problem. Now, these problems are historically the problems my algebra students have issues with when they first come to me. The reason is not because you don't know how to do it. The reason is because you're stuck in concrete thinking like 7th grade. What does that mean? You like to have an answer. So if I say, what's the perimeter of a rectangle? Y'all like the answer to be something like 52. Wasn't that how your answers looked last year? Guess how your answers are going to look this year? Something like these. Okay? You're going to do it the exact same way as you learned in elementary school. It wants you to find the perimeter and area of the rectangle. But look at the length. What is it? Did they tell you what W is? So what do you think is going to be in your answer? Some W's. Make sense? Now, if they tell you what W is, then you're good to go. But they're not going to. Okay? Are we going to do anything different? No. How do you find perimeter of any shape? Length plus length for rectangles plus width plus width. Didn't you also learn that's 2 times length plus 2 times width? Yes or no? Did y'all learn that? Okay. We're going to set this up algebraically. 2 times length. Which one of these is the length? This one. Well, I need to multiply 2 by that whole thing. So what do you think this needs? Parentheses. So I'm going to do 2 times the length. Well, the length is 8 minus 12w. Plus 2 times the width. What's the width? 9. Does this look like what we're learning? What am I going to do to this parentheses before I do anything? Change. I'm now going to distribute the 2 to the 8. What's 2 times 8? 16 plus 2 times negative 12w, negative 24w. Now I'm done with this, yes? Now I'm going to do plus, what's 2 times 9? Okay, I'm almost done. Why am I not finished? I must combine the like terms. What's a like? Okay, well, I can't do anything with this, so my answer is going to be the perimeter is equal to negative 24w. And 16 plus 18 is 34. Plus 34. Is there anything else I can do to this problem? So that's it. I'm done. That's what the perimeter is equal to. Okay, how would I find the area of a rectangle? Length times width. Okay, well, what is the length? 8 minus 12w. The problem is, though, I need to multiply this whole thing by the width, which is 9. So what do I need to put this in? The whole thing needs to be multiplied by 9. What am I going to do with the parentheses first? Change. I'm going to distribute the 9 to the 8, and 9 times 8 is 72. Plus, I'm going to distribute the 9 times the negative 12w. A positive times the negative is negative 108w. Can I combine anything? Am I finished? So guess what I'm going to put? That is equal to the area. Oops, I didn't mean to cut my w off. Okay, look at 1 through 9. You're going to use the distributive property, and you're basically going to simplify the expression, just like we just did. Will your answers have x's in them? Yes. Be careful on 7, 8, and 9 if you want to highlight them or star them. Why are we highlighting those? What do you see? X times x is x squared. Let's do number 7 together. The first thing I'm going to do is what, though? Change. What is x times 4x? 4x squared plus, what is x times negative 1? What's a positive times a negative? Negative 1x. And that's my answer. Now, on 10 through 13, you're not going to do them on the front. You're going to do them on the... I have made it to where it's much easier for you. They're going to give you the expression, and you're going to label like we did on our notes. Y'all remember when we did these? What does T stand for? Terms, like terms, coefficient, constant. Please use your notes, guys, so you see how... If you put, for coefficient, if you put an X with it, the whole thing's wrong. Okay? Go back to the front. You're going to do 23 and 24. You do not have to do 25. It's really kind of long. Make sure on the word problems. Now listen, what did we learn today? Distributive. So in the word problems, do you think that they're going to have some parentheses? You're going to have to set them up. Okay? All right, you may get started.